Ooh-wee. Gonna give people a minute
Yeah,
or
a
two
few more
to
minutes.
trickle in.
Give them to about 8:03 or 4.
Going on, Ed? Eddie Payne, how you feeling, man? Nice,
Ranked
nice. You love to see it. Apex dubs, Apex dubs.
Find a new game. But yeah, good job, Eddie. Good job. Another minute or so.
Yeah, give him another minute. Trickle on in.
And this will be fine. We'll be able to, a lot of our viewers might be watching this on YouTube later. This will be going up on our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Within the next
yes.
day. All right.
Ooh, all right, 8:03. Let's
All right.
get it popping.
Good evening, everybody. How we doing? Hopefully we're doing great. Welcome to episode 2 of our show. Now, I do want to make a note. We are changing the name of our talk. It's actually going to be now Dom and Gonz Sports Talk, or DANG for short. So, welcome on in. Same people, though. Same name. Or, sorry, different name, same show. So, how you doing tonight, Dom?
Same
You doing pretty good?
I'm doing good, man. Doing great now. Since we started off the show with breaking news coming into the Ravens flock. How are you feeling now that we have a new member of the flock? Receiver Odell Beckham Jr. signs a 1-year, $18 million deal.
Just wow, because I didn't think it was going to happen. Well, on our last episode, we talked about how confident are we in the Ravens going out and picking up one of these 3 wide receivers, and I said no, but I would love to be wrong, and here I am wrong, and I can't be more happier to be wrong than I am right now. So good job, Eric DeCosta. Good job, Baltimore, for taking a chance on Odell Beckham. I can't believe it. I really don't have words because this is so uncharacteristic of what we do. Taking a chance on a semi-young receiver. I mean, 30 is not super young, but he's younger than Sammy Watkins. He's got more left in the tank than Sammy Watkins, in my opinion. Yeah, I know he was off. He had 2 ACLs, and he's been injured through his career, but it's been 13 months since that Super Bowl where he tore his ACL. He's had more than enough time to get healthier. He brings that needed hands that we need in these wide receiver corps, like a slot guy. He doesn't have to take the top off the defense. Somebody that gets open, makes tough catches, moves the chains on 3rd and 4 or 5. Just great. Just an all-around type of guy we needed, I think. It's not D-Hop, I know, but this is really good. I'm pretty excited about this. Now we just need to get our quarterback situation figured out. But that's another topic. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this?
I agree. I think Odell brings a great dynamic to the Ravens. He brings a swag that, Lamar also brought, but, he meshes with Lamar's swag if we bring him back, and I think with this signing, I just feel as though OBJ doesn't sign this deal unless something with Lamar is in the works, in my opinion. I just don't think that, he comes on without – obviously, we're still living in uncertainty with the quarterback situation. We don't know if Lamar will be here or not. But I think OBJ signs this deal wanting to mesh things with Lamar and the Ravens, to bring him back and, just be a force in the AFC North. OBJ, he brings those hands that you were talking about, very reliable. It makes our pass game more dynamic. He's a veteran presence for our young receiver core who can help build them up. So, I see a lot of ups with him. Obviously, as you mentioned, there are the injuries that concern me. 2 ACLs, it's hard. I can't speak. I've never torn mine, but it just seems as though that's hard to overcome, having 2 ACLs. I believe he tore his ACL in the same place, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be hard to come back from, but I believe in him. I believe I'm seeing him with the Rams, like how he meshed with Cooper Kupp, how those two were just a 1-2 punch on that Rams offense with Matt Stafford. I just think about him being as dynamic like that with Lamar. We'd be a force to be reckoned with in the AFC North. I just think that, he brings a style that we need badly. Like we need. Now, I will say this. I did say in the last episode, I didn't fully see Odell as a wide receiver 1. I'm keeping the receipts. I did say that. But I feel as though, when he comes in, learns our system, meshes with whoever the quarterback is going to be. I think, he'll be a great piece with a healthy run game, with a healthy Dobbins, healthy Gus Edwards, with a Rashad Bateman, Duvernay, with a healthy Mandrews. I think this offense with him can be it could be a problem.
Well, it's definitely a good start
for
the wide receiver overhaul. But it shouldn't stop here. I find it hard to believe that they would get another one, but I think they're done from free agency. The draft, that's where we'll get to. You still think we get a wide receiver in the draft?
That's what I've been meshing in my head since this deal, since it broke. I'm sitting here thinking, do we still go wide receiver now that we have OBJ, which I don't think I would mind. I agree, Eddie. The Lamar situation definitely does look better with OBJ being here.
Yes.
That was my mindset going into that. But like as far as the draft is concerned, in my opinion, would I still grab a wide receiver with this wide receiver class? In my opinion, yes, because I feel as though you can't really not have too many weapons, and there are some really good receivers in this draft. It's a good receiver draft class. So I think, we get OBJ, you grab a receiver in the first round, you pair them up with Bateman and Mandrews and get Duvernay on there. Like, our offense can change completely different what we had these past couple of years. Like, we won't be as run heavy. Obviously, our run game is what makes us us, but maybe not being is run heavy. We can be that dynamic offense that Ravens fans have been looking for a while now. Like Lamar has his legs that he utilizes in his game, but he said before he doesn't really like to run the ball as often as he has been. He likes to pass. He likes passing touchdowns. He likes getting those yards. So, maybe with those weapons, getting him these reliable weapons, I think, Todd Monken's offense could look a lot better if we do draft a receiver in the first round. Now, Peters is obviously still in the wind, so I think first round pick should probably go between receiver or DB, in my opinion. But in what I would want on the wish list, I want receiver first round.
Keep that going. I don't mind. I honestly would not, even though I said I hope they could pick a corner, I would not be upset if they drafted a wide receiver, just to make that clear. I still think if Joey Porter's available, they should get him, but I don't know if that's going to happen, because we do need a corner too, or opposite of Marlon Humphrey, another outside corner. But anyway, so yes, this changes a lot. Todd Monken has a lot of toys to play with now. Duvernay, right now, our wide receiver room would be Odell Beckham, Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay, and James Prochet. And I'm not sure if Demarcus Robinson is still on the roster.
I think he only signed the 1 year deal.
They could bring him back too. That dude was okay. He could be like a 4 or a 3. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely improved. Now, if Bateman could stay healthy and not drop the ball, and we get the Duvernay from the beginning of the year, and we get Odell Beckham back when he was on the Rams, even that one doesn't even have to be the one from the Giants. Just the one that is consistent, like we said, consistent moving the chains, consistent making those tough grabs. We have a much better wide receiver group already than last year with those 3 guys. So that's pretty exciting. And then if they go ahead and do what you say and draft a wide route in the first round, that's even better. That's like gravy. So we'll see what happens with that. That's pretty good. Now, I also wanted to talk to you about this. Earlier this week, we had the pre-draft conference, right, with EDC and Harbaugh. I believe that was on Thursday. I don't remember. A lot has happened. And it was a lot of fluff, in my opinion. A lot of fluff that was being said. And interesting thing that I saw right from the start is they shut down all the Lamar Jackson talk right from the beginning. Like, bam, no, we're not having it. They even had to mute the whole stream to yell at one of the reporters that were trying to ask a Lamar Jackson question. So I thought that was kind of funny. They took like a 5-second pause. But bottom line was Baltimore was not – they just were not going to have any of that. No Lamar stuff. So do you think that means anything? I honestly think it could mean a little bit of something. It means they could potentially be serious about this Colts trade that I've been talking about, where they go ahead and, send Lamar over, take the number 4 pick, and go for Anthony Richardson. And I don't know. What do you think?
I just think I remember the press conference. I just think it's more in terms of I just think they're tired of it. Like, it's just so long. You know what I mean? This has just been a reoccurring thing of, is Lamar this? Are you in Lamar that? Like, obviously the world wants to know where Lamar Jackson is going to be playing football next year. If you don't care, obviously you do. Like, come on now. But, like, I just think when they shut down those questions, I just think it was more in terms of they obviously are tired of hearing it. They are tired of, and I get where the concept was coming from. It was a draft presser. So, I mean, but at the same time, you can't get mad at those reporters for asking those questions, because I feel as though you're building your draft board for who is on your
100%.
team. And if Lamar's not on your team, right, if Lamar's not on your team, obviously you're going to get those questions, like, especially with the trade request on March 2nd. I mean, not March 2nd, April 2nd, I'm sorry. Like, the people want to know. But I just think DaCosta, he's just, he's over the question at this point. I'm pretty sure he and the others just want to get a deal done. And I don't really
Mm-hmm.
know how much they stay in contact with each other. I'm not going to sit here and say that I know, but for certain, I feel as though like shut down those questions. I just think it was in terms of there hasn't been that much progress made yet. We're still working on it, and or it could mean a draft day trade, as you mentioned, could be coming. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. The Ravens are able to keep all that stuff in house, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did have a draft day trade in place. If Lamar Jackson does go to the Colts, that would literally tear Baltimore apart, in my opinion. We all know the Colts Baltimore history. I already have some people I know who are like, bro, if this man goes to the Colts, Baltimore will probably riot if he goes to the Colts. But yeah, like I just think that's what in my opinion, I feel like that's what it meant. I just think that Costa is just, he's just tired of it. And I think he wants to see an end to this as much as we do as fans. But again, as we spoke on before, it takes two to tango. And we are still waiting to see how all this mess is going to play out. Because right now, I'm not going to lie, this whole contract situation is what I said. It's been a mess.
Yeah, so it seemed I would agree with that. I would say it's nothing to get super concerned about, but us Ravens fans, we like to blow a lot of stuff out of proportion. It's just what we do.
We do. We do.
Yeah, it's just what life is when you're in. So yeah, that's mainly what I took away from that too, from the draft day, and more importantly, Eric DaCosta also said when he was asked about drafting a QB in the first, he literally said, and I quote, "It depends on the board. It really does." So they are open to it, at least from what we said.
They are open to it, and I can't really blame them. Yeah, I can't really blame them. I mean, there's so much uncertainty with who our quarterback is going to be. Like, obviously, again, with this OBJ signing, you would think it's turning heads to like, okay, maybe this is a sign Lamar could stay. Or maybe OBJ just likes Baltimore and he wants to play for us. I don't know. It could be either situation. But, it's funny because I saw a tweet from NFL insider Josina Anderson, great reporter, great insider, and she was stating how OBJ is kind of being brought in to help mesh things between the Ravens and Lamar. So, I'm thinking the Ravens are kind of utilizing this new piece as a method to be like, Lamar, hey, listen, man, we hear what you're saying. We're getting you these weapons. Like, you see why we didn't want to, pay you that big bag is because, we want to be able to afford these kind of guys. So, and as you said before, this is completely out of character for something like us before. Like, yes, Odell is a veteran receiver, which is in our character, but a better receiver of his status, like, unheard of for us. So, I feel as though this could be the meshing point that we need to bring him back in, to get him to sign that long-term
I agree.
Deal,
This is a weapon that definitely upgrades our wide receivers from last year. We'll see what Lamar's response is. But we can only wait now. That's about it. As the draft creeps, we can only just wait. I think we got about 2 more Thursdays until the draft.
Yes, we still have a little more time.
Yeah,
draft night is beginning April 27th.
Right.
For anybody who didn't know. Yes.
Okay. Now, I also heard something today. Let's go back to the wide receivers a little bit. I was watching a show today with my family. I forget what it was called, but it was on some Baltimore network. And they were talking Lamar Jackson. Not about contract. This isn't going to be about contract. This is going to be about chemistry with wide receivers. And the obvious things they talked about was he didn't throw the wide receivers that much, except for Hollywood when we had him. But he did look Mark Andrews' way all the time, obviously, right? They were proposing one of the reasons why the Ravens cannot go far in the playoffs, and this was dating back to when the Ravens had Lamar Jackson on, playing in the playoff games in 2019 and 20. Their proposal was that the Ravens can't win these tough playoff games because the quarterback is not in control of the field. Now, let me explain what that means. Not in control of the field, as in they cannot stretch it. Their point was that Lamar cannot stretch the field to the sidelines. They can't hit those deep corner routes, those deep, crossing patterns from sideline to sideline, and that he can only look down the field. They weren't saying that Lamar can't throw. They were saying that the zip or the chemistry with the sideline type of throws were not there. And that, do you think having Odell Beckham over there as a wideout can help with that kind of thing? And also, do you agree with that philosophy or not?
Okay, so to answer the first part, I do think having Odell, because Odell, I feel as though he's more of a spec catch kind of guy. He's that guy who he can make those sideline catches, has great balance, so he can make those catches. So I think having Odell there can really help stretch the field. But as far as the second point, I can't disagree, only because watching Ravens games since Lamar has been there, it hasn't really been a lot of sideline to sideline. You know what I mean? It's literally been a lot of these wide open passes, or these passes that Lamar has thrown, has been over the middle of the field, wide open deep, crosser coming from left to right, but I don't see us usually hitting those kind of plays, unless it's one of those plays that breaks down completely and Lamar has to be Superman really quick and get the ball out of his hands. But I feel as though the plays we had weren't designed to have those kind of outcomes, to have those sideline to sideline kind of dudes. I think not even just having OBJ there. I think with the combination of OBJ and a new offensive coordinator, these plays, things can shift for us as far as what we can look at now. So we're not just looking middle of the field. We're not just looking those quick those quick throws that Lamar sometimes does. You know what I mean? I feel as though he can help us shift the game as to where we're looking sideline to sideline. We're looking over the middle. We're looking, cross. We can do different things now if Lamar's back. But yeah, I can't completely disagree totally with that analogy, because
that came from Mike Preston. Yeah. Mike Preston was on the show. I forget the name of it. Jesus.
Okay.
But yeah, that take came from Mike Preston. I actually agree with that. I really do. We don't stretch the field like Joe Burrow can throw it anywhere on the field. And I know he's got really good wide receivers, but they specialize from those little out routes, those little comeback routes on the sideline. They are in, if they're cooking on offense, they can command the entire field. They can hit you on the screen passes, the out routes, the deep passes, the in routes, the double moves with Chase and all that. So I agree. And these quarterbacks that are winning the Super Bowl are in control of the entire field. They're hitting on these deep corner routes. Even Jalen Hurts, they didn't win the Super Bowl, but they hit on that big touchdown to A.J. Brown in the corner of the end zone. When was the last time you've seen a Ravens wide receiver or tight end make a toe-tapping sideline grab in the back corner of the end zone? I'll be honest, and I'm a nerd for this kind of stuff. I remember every single touchdown from every single game, known to recent man, and I really can't remember any of those since 2020, I think. 2020, when Marquise Brown made one in the corner against the Giants. Yeah, my favorite.
Oh, your favorite receiver.
You just don't see it. And, Mike, if you've ever read a Mike Preston article, he is very critique of the Ravens. There's not a lot of praise from him. He's kind of a tough grader, if you know what I mean. Which is good. I like to see what his takes are. So I actually completely agree with that. We need to hit on these sideline passes. We need to get people open on the sideline. And more importantly, we need our quarterback to trust these guys to get open and take a chance, because that was another big point he said. He agreed that all of these wide receivers aren't that good, and I also agree with that, but we didn't even try to challenge them. I may be going out on a limb here, but I feel like Tyler Huntley gave these wideouts more of a chance last year than Lamar did. I mean, I'm sorry. Demarcus Robinson got a long touchdown in the playoff game. When have you seen Lamar hit on one of these deep touchdown passes to one of those guys? That's not Mark Andrews, right? It just doesn't happen that often. So I'm hoping Todd Monken can really stretch the field, give Lamar some easy reads to where he can, throw it to some of his guys and spread the field more importantly. That's essential for being a good offense, not only through the regular season, but getting you those tough yardages that you're going to find yourselves in the playoff games. So yeah, let's stretch the whole field. The football field is gigantic. Like, we've got room inside the numbers and outside. Let's use it.
I agree. This is the time. Like, this is the moment. Like, this is what us as Ravens fans have been waiting for. The moment where we get a dynamic weapon that can help us do that. And with this signing, with Bateman, with Mandrews, like, maybe we see as many double teams on Mandrews as we've been seeing lately. With Odell on that side,
right?
Likely could get more opportunities. Like, this is the chance to utilize every single weapon we have on this team. That's what I'm saying. It's like these guys have talent. We've seen it. Hey, he can run the hell out of the ball. We've seen it. Gus can truck somebody over if he needs to. Like, we have a dynamic run game. We've seen Bateman. We've seen flashes of Bateman. I just need a full season of Bateman, but we've seen flashes of Bateman. We've seen Duvernay be good. We've seen Likely make big catches, big clutch catches when he needed to. We already know what Mandrews is. Like, we have guys who can make plays, but it all comes down to scheming and play calling. And at this point now, with Monken, it all comes down to him. It all comes down to what he's dreaming of this Ravens offense. We've already had that dynamic run game. Now, how can we make it as though we have a great pass and a great run so teams aren't just guarding one thing? That was our problem. Like, nobody was scared of us. I see what Preston was saying. Nobody was scared of us deep. Nobody was scared of our pass game. Like, literally, they saw drop back the pass. They're like, oh, we got that. Like, you know what I mean? Defenses weren't scared. The main thing they're probably scared of is if Lamar was going to get out of that pocket and break somebody's ankles. Other than that, that was about it. Like, we have to have great scheming. And I think with Monken, that could work. But it all comes down to, again, who's going to be, what quarterback is Monken scheming for? That's what we don't know yet. And hopefully we find out soon. But for now, we don't know. So once we figure that out, the sky's the limit, because we have to be able to move the ball against this AFC North, because these guys are not playing around, man. They're not. Like, we got Kenny Pickett's emerging. Sean Watson is here. We all know what Joe Burrow is. The AFC North
I don't like
is not a weak
he ain't that good.
Like, the AFC North is not a weak conference. They're coming. The AFC North is coming, and we have to be prepared. And we need great play calling this year. It cannot be what we saw last year. Last year was a lot of things were unacceptable last year. So we have.
Yeah, I agree. Kenny Pickett's not terrible. I was just kind of joking, but he does manage the game pretty well. Like, he'll go down the game and score. So we got to make sure our offense puts enough points on them to bury that team and not let them come back and win like they always do. And because that's how the Steelers have beaten us recently. Like, we build these like leads about 7-10 points and carry it the whole game and lose at the end. So yeah, let's get an offense that, doesn't take their foot off the gas and scores all the way down to the last 5 minutes. Like, I want to see a touchdown with like 4 minutes to go in the game that puts us up 17 and just ends the other team, puts them in their grave. Right? No, I
and just
don't
ends
have
the
to see the
game. Yes,
defense have to come
like
out and
we
get a stop every time. Like can we put it away? And to flip that, I don't want to have to see a game-winning touchdown every drive on offense with 20 seconds
I
left.
agree.
Let's do a
I agree.
game-ending touchdown. Can we do that, Baltimore? Can we go up by 17 with 5 minutes left and then essentially end the game? We'll see. I think Todd Monken's I think Todd Monken's got to be a little bit excited about that. That's a good signing.
I agree. I think he should be excited about it. I think like our points per game should go up from the last couple of games last year. Obviously, we were putting up like 0 to none, like maybe 0 to 10, maybe on a good day, but like we weren't putting up anything. Like it was that one game, the Broncos game, where we literally, and I cannot stress enough, we're basically just kicking field goals until we sealed it at the end of the game. But like we have to be able to put up points because the other offenses in our division, the other offenses in the AFC as a whole can do that. The Bills can put up points. The Bengals can put up points. The Chiefs can put up points. Miami can put up points. Like these are dynamic offenses. We have to be able to match them. The Chargers, even though their defense was absolutely not great last year, their offense, I mean, when it's clicking, it's clicking. Like you have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. I know Austin Eckler requested his trade. I don't know where he will end up. That's another topic for another day. But we have to be able to match these AFC because the AFC is the most competitive conference. It's nothing but young quarterbacks and young teams who are killing it right now. We have to be prepared and we have to be ready because these guys aren't going to wait for us. They're not going to wait for us to get better. We just have to get better.
Now we're about to wrap up here. Let's talk about one more thing. You touched on the rest of the AFC North earlier. Let's talk about them real quick. Let's see what they've done. Can the Ravens keep up with them? So let's start with Cincinnati Bengals. They've got all their guys back still. They've got T. Higgins. They decided not to trade him, and they're going to keep him. Jamar Chase, of course, and Tyler Boyd's all still there. Joe Mixon is still there, but there's some drama going on with him right now, where they recharged him for whatever he did. I forget what happened with him, but he's in some legal trouble right now. So we'll see what happens with him. And the biggest, perhaps their biggest signing, or maybe even the biggest signing of the AFC North, was signing Orlando Brown, our ex-Ravens tackle, to anchor that left side for Joe Burrow. I mean, that's a great signing. I'm so mad.
That was a great signing.
It seems like the Bengals address their needs when they need to. Even last year they did. They got a couple people for their O-line because that was literally their only weakness. I mean, I still think Joe Burrow's going to get sacked a lot because that's just how he plays. But they are all set right now. They really – I mean, their defense –
They are.
Their defense, I think they lost a couple people. Yes.
They did. They lost Jesse Bates. He went over to Atlanta. That was the big loss that they suffered. I don't know how – the thing about it is I feel like, though, with Burrow, with the weapons that he has, the only thing they really need to worry about is their run game with Mixon having the troubles that he's having right now. Samaje Perine is no longer there. He went to a different team. I forgot what team he signed with. So their backfield, we'll see what comes of it, coming up to the draft. I mean, who knows? To be real with you, Zeke is kind of still on the table. He hasn't signed with a team. So that could come into play at any moment, The Bengals are pretty much, they're going to be back to form this year coming up. So they'll be ready. The Steelers, Pickens is a problem. We all know that. We've seen that last year. He's
very
an
good.
issue.
He's got great hands.
Yes, Pickens will be an issue as he always has been. Deontay Johnson, we all know he's a problem. Najee could be a great pass catcher out of the backfield, great runner. Like the Steelers are coming along. Kenny Pickett, I can see him being a problem this year. Getting more with Trubisky starting. I know Pickett didn't really have but with a full year of Pickett, I think I think the Steelers
Yeah,
could be a
him playing
problem. Now,
the whole season with them, that's
now
great. That's great. And they sort of, strung together some wins after that. They started 2-6. Uh, they did.
they still
Mike
had a winning
Tomlin
season.
never quits.
Season,
Never quits. I'm still thinking, well, they still
great
have their offensive coordinator. They
coach.
still have Matt Canada. They kept him. And they did make some upgrades to the line a little bit for, to protect Pickett. Najee Harris, I used to think he was a bust, but towards the middle of last year, he started picking it up big time. And he had a really nice game at that Sunday Night Football New Year's Day game in Baltimore, right in front of my face. I was there, and he ran for over 100 and got that game winner at the end of the game for us. So he's definitely up and coming. Watch out for them. And their defense, they did line a couple people, they did lose a couple people. I think they lost their corner, Cameron Sutton, and Devin Bush, their middle linebacker. Yeah.
Devin Bush.
And they still got
Bush
that anchor, Cameron Hayward, in the middle, along with, of course, TJ Watt, our nemesis.
Yeah, and
Minka.
You got Minka in that secondary. Yeah, so I mean, they're going to be an issue. They've been our biggest problem.
Well,
so you already know
they're going to give us an issue. They may be super good. I mean, I don't know if they've made enough upgrades to transition from a 9-8 team to like a 11-6 team or a 12-5. We'll see. But for sure they're going to give Baltimore issues. I don't care how good or bad we are. That's going to be a struggle because those teams, they hate each other.
Absolutely.
And we'll bring.
Absolutely. The team to watch.
I was just about to move to them.
Brown.
What do you think?
Yep. That will be the team to watch because you're getting a full season of Watson, right? This will be his first full season since he's gone through his legal issues. There are reports that Kareem Hunt will not be re-signing with the team. They say, according to reports, that he lost a touch of speed, so they don't really want to bring him back. A lot of people are saying he's lucky if he even gets a 1-year, $4 million deal. We'll see. I think a team who needs a running back will pick him up. I really don't think he's a bad back. In my opinion, I think he can give the team a good quality minutes. You know what I mean? But they are a team to watch. Seeing this team at full strength, Deshaun Watson saying he would restructure his contract, to try to save some cap space for the team to be able to make some moves. Like, they're going to be the team to watch this season because they gave Deshaun Watson that fully guaranteed $230 million deal. All right? So you got to put your money where your mouth is now. Like, if they don't make the playoffs, now they partially had an excuse last year. Watson didn't play a full year. He missed the first, 11 games? If I remember correctly, he missed the first 11, 12 games. You're getting a full 17 of Watson, full 17, 18 of Watson, right? So there's no excuse now. You got Amari Cooper. You got Nick Chubb. You got Watson. You still got Myles Garrett on that defense. You still got Denzel Ward on that defense. You got playmakers on that squad. Okay, so now's the year to put
I
up
really
a shut
hope
up.
they shut up because they are. I hate the Browns so much, but they've got themselves a squad, and don't forget about their defense as well. Myles Garrett on that side, Denzel Ward. They did lose Greedy Williams though, so that might hurt a bit. But they still got that jock. That guy is insane. Dude is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's fast as heck, man. Oh my gosh. I remember watching him. I think it was the night game in 2021. That man was all over the field. All over the field. That was his rookie year. Jeremiah Wusu-Koromou's rookie year in 2021. That dude can fly around the football field. I know, Eddie, but still. Eddie, you make fun of the Browns, but they give us issues. We usually drop one game per season to them every year. I think the last time we swept them was in 2020, I think. But all those other years, we've lost to them. 2018, lost. 2019, when we were the best team in the league, we lost to them in week 3. Lost last year and then dropped another one in 2021. So they've got our number at least on one game per year. I would love it if the Ravens could break out and just sweep this whole division, but that's not realistic at this point. I just don't see that happening because the other teams are improving. They are. I don't think there's a garbage can team in this division anymore. The last time I would think that every team was like so-so or garbage was the 2019 season when the Bengals were like 1-15, 2-14, something terrible, which allowed them to get Burrow the next year. So I'm sure Bengals fans don't care because they.
I say
Yeah.
lucked out with that one. Yep.
So yeah, this is not a laughingstock division anymore. It really is. I don't think it ever was.
It's not. Not a laughingstock conference. It's not a laughingstock conference. Like the conference is stacked. I mean, there's a lot of competition that we have to look out for. And like you said, these teams are improving. They're getting better. They're going out there and getting pieces around their players to succeed. And we have to match that because defense, as much as I love our defense, we can't rely on them every game. We can't say, okay, defense, go get a stop week 1 through 17. We can't. There has to be moments where we could just be like, you know what, defense?
We used to be able to do that, and I feel like that's the problem with the Ravens.
We did.
So old-fashioned most of the time, and they just – defense, go win us the game. Defense, need a fumble. Defense, need a turnover. How about offense, go score? How about that? How about offense, go win the game?
You know what I mean? Like the one year we were just dropping touchdowns on touchdowns, the Jackson 5s that we used to see. You know what I mean? Like those games. We have the potential to do it. I've seen it. We can do it. But we have to be able to match points.
And I'm excited
defense isn't just going to come
Mike
anymore.
McDonald comes up with in his second year. And that'll be another tough for the next
He had a great
week.
first year.
But I think we've covered a lot of things tonight. Obviously, the breaking news being Odell Beckham signing that 1-year deal. We have a comment here. Yes, Eddie, exactly. I completely agree. Or for example, if the defense gives up a TD, how about the offense go up and retake that lead, or regain that
and match
lead.
it? Yeah, match it, right?
But anyway, this is a great start. Really great start. I'm so happy they went out and purchased a more than decent free agent wide receiver that's not 34 years old or, hasn't done any or bounced around the league forever like Sammy Watkins or, somebody like that. I know Beckham has bounced around a couple teams, but he's been effective on the teams he's been on. At least the Giants. I don't know about Cleveland too much, but that he was hurt during that tenure. So
yeah,
I love it, Bolt. Love it. Thank you, Eric DaCosta, for listening. One quick announcement before we officially wrap up. We will be moving to YouTube for our starting next week, right, Dom?
Yeah, starting next week, we'll be utilizing YouTube for our podcast. The link to our YouTube page is in our bio. Go check us out. Go subscribe. We will be taking our podcast from Instagram Live to YouTube.
This video will also go on YouTube, just like episode, in case you later. But anyway, that's all for us tonight. We thank you for tuning in and hearing us talk Ravens and also some other teams around the league, living up to our name. Not just as well.
Well, I said, you guys let us know how. You guys let us know how dynamic does Odell Beckham now make the Ravens. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know how you feel about this signing. Are the Ravens more dynamic offense with Beckham there?
Yeah, drop that in the YouTube comments or Instagram comments because this will be on the Gonz Sports Talk Instagram page as well. So, yeah.
All righty. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next week.
Yes, sir.
7 o'clock sharp. Be there, be square.
Oh, happy Easter as well.
All righty. Oh, yes. Happy Easter, Passover, whatever.
Almost forgot it was Easter. So excited. But anyway, hope you had a great day, and we'll see you next week. Dom and Gonz out.